All You Need to Know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning into this daily morning podcast from Bloomberg Quint. Let's get started with the markets. What else, you'll ask? The Dow Jones was down 1,190 points. It's the biggest single-day decline in the history of the index, and the Nasdaq posted its biggest one-day loss since August 2011. To make you understand the gravity and the breadth of the fall, here's some data. The MSCI All-Country Global Index has dropped more than 7% over a 6-day run, and the VIX was above 30 for a second day as US markets remain choppy. The 10-year Treasury yield, the US Treasury yield that is, dropped below the 1.3% mark and therefore remains in the record low territory. The correction for the S&P 500, often defined as a 10% drop from the recent high, isn't so far away. And a 20% drop to the bear market, which measured from the Feb 19th record would be about 2709, is now starting to creep into conversations and discussions as well. The Pan-European Stock 600 closed about 3.6% lower provisionally, officially entering the correction territory. It's off more than 10% from the record highs notched in February last year. The index also hit a 4-month low, while all the other major indices countrywide were also firmly in the red. DAX, FTSE, CAC, all of them fell over 3% apiece. The reason? Coronavirus. Estonia and Denmark both reported their first confirmed cases of the virus yesterday morning, while the UK also reported 2 more cases. Iran, which had just 2 cases a week ago, confirmed 245 infections yesterday morning, but the outbreak could be even more widespread in Iran than currently known, as per Dr. Mike Ryan, who is the executive director of the World Health Organization's emergency program. He says this is because the virus has entered Iran undetected. It is having its impact on growth. International Monetary Fund said it is likely to downgrade its global economic growth forecast because of the fast-spreading virus. Spokesman Gary Rice said he expected a decision soon on the impact for the IMF and the World Bank spring meetings in April, noting that many options were under consideration. Oil prices, though, continued their steep decline on Thursday. US West Texas Intermediate crude fell by more than 5% to as low as $45 per barrel, a price which has not been seen since Jan 2019. In domestic news, bank credit grew at its slowest pace in more than 2 years in the latest fortnight, even as several high-frequency indicators showed signs of an economic revival. But GDP data later today might show that the economy is likely to have grown at just a slightly better pace compared to the third quarter at 4.5% or thereabouts, based on the slight pickup in agriculture and government spending. Asian markets, needless to say, have started off in the red, the early risers at least. It's over to Darshan Mehta for the trade setup in India. Good morning, Darshan. It's not looking as great.
Hi Neeraj, good morning everyone, and we will be off to a very, very poor start. The Dow was down over 1,000 points in trade yesterday. Asia has started extremely weak. The SGX Nifty is down over 150 points, so it will be a sea of red across in most of the stocks today. But some stocks that we need to watch out for, IndusInd Bank will be in focus. RBI has approved the appointment of Suman Katpalia as the MD and CEO of the company for a period of 3 years, and that will start from March 24th. The CEO-related uncertainty ends, and so does the overhang as per a lot of brokerages. HPCL and ONGC will acquire 17.3% stake in Petronet MHB, 185 crores. Post the acquisitions, the company will hold 50% stake in the company, and the transaction is expected to be completed in the fourth quarter. GTPL Hathway says that the promoter Geo Content Distribution Holding will sell up to 43.12 shares of the company via OFS. The floor price is at a discount of 4%. Lemon Tree Hotel announces its debut in Bhutan with the launch of Lemon Tree Hotel Thimphu. Rights OFS non-retail portion gets subscribed 1.3 times. S&P revises the credit outlook of Motherson Sumi subsidiary Samvardhana Motherson Automotive Systems to negative. Pidilite Industries will acquire 70% stake in 10X India Stone Products Private Limited for 80 crores. It is a leading manufacturer of adhesives, coatings, surface treatment chemicals and abrasive for marble, granite and stone industry. Jacop, in which a block deal happened, in which Standard Chartered bought in 70 lakh shares in the company. The seller was Morgan Stanley. And in terms of brokerages, Macquarie has initiated on Container Corp with an outperform rating and a target price of 625. They believe that the proposed divestment may fetch in 20 to 25% control premium and trigger a re-rating. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab, and you will be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks for that, Darshan. Remember, Vodafone Idea also remains in news. The company's proposed a tariff hike to pay the AGR dues to the telecom department. Remember, yesterday, in early days trade, news also came out about how Vodafone's letter to the government spoke about their inability to pay the entire telecom dues in full. The one piece of good news as I wrap up this podcast is from the Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson, who said in a letter to employees that 85% of the global coffee chains, cafes in China are operating again. Remember, Starbucks had closed more than half of the Chinese stores in January due to coronavirus outbreak. Let's hope, fervently hope, that normalcy returns soon. Thanks so much for tuning in and have a great weekend.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.